My name is Mohammed Saif and I would like to present my project on Stopwatch. On the screen, you can see a functional stopwatch that I created using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. The counter displays milliseconds, seconds, minutes and hour. Okay, enabling you track time for any task for several hours. Additionally, three buttons are available to interact with the stopwatch. Here is a start button to start the stopwatch, and if you want to stop the time, then we will click on stop button. And if you want to reset the stopwatch, we will click reset button. Okay. Now let me explain the code. Okay. So here is the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code for the stopwatch. Okay. So most importantly, we have JavaScript code because all the functionalities and all the things is dependent on the JavaScript code. Okay. To implement the stopwatch functionality, I created these functions like start function and then stop function, reset function, and a put value function. So the start function helps us to start the stopwatch. Okay, first of all, the start function is initialized with a start timer variable. Okay, the start timer variable that performs a timeout function every 10 milliseconds. As we are taking an interval of 10 milliseconds for this function, I set the millisecond value to go up to 100 milliseconds. Okay, 100 milliseconds, making 100 milliseconds and 10 milliseconds equal to 1 second. So it can go up to 1 second. Okay. After performing all the calculation in this function, we call the put value function to show the changes on the user side. The user side will get the values which we are performing here. Okay, so also we can see that I I got the reference to the start stop button from the HTML by using query selectors dot start dot stop dot reset. These are representing the classes in the HTML which I created. Okay, so after start function, we have stop function. Okay, so stop function basically stops the timer, uh, clearing the time interval. Okay. By clearing time interval of start timer, we can see the exact time where I stop the counter in the stopwatch. And here are the two more functionalities: start button dot class list active and stop button dot remove stop active. Basically, this thing is used to make start button active or inactive at the time. If like this, when we click on the start button, there is a class added called active class to linked with this div, and it will make it inactive at this time. And if we press stop button, it will make the stop button inactive, and if we click on reset button, it will make all the buttons active at that time. Okay, so after the stop, we are moving towards reset function. Okay, the reset functions resets all the values of hour, minutes, and seconds to zeros, and calls the put value function again to display the reset values to the user. Okay, so here is our reset function. Hour, minute, second, milliseconds will be 0, and we will call the put value function. And lastly, the put value function provides output to the user by changing the inner HTML or to the updated values of variables. Like if we update the value of hour, it will update the inner HTML of our class to hour, new hour variable, and minute class to minute variable to minute class. So here is all the functionalities and codes of our code.